Well, hello, and welcome to Jammin Jukebox, your radio show. I am your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and so glad to have you here with us. Can everybody say it is almost Friday? Yes, it's Friday Eve, and I am, very, very excited that tomorrow's Friday. The weekend is coming, folks, and I cannot get here soon enough. This has been a fast week this week. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's just been fast across the board. I can't believe, here we are. Friday Eve, as I like to call it. I don't call it Thursday night. I call it Friday Eve. So anyway, but yeah, it's been a great day. I hope it has been for you too. And we are really pumped up tonight because our guest, I've been trying to get him on the show here for a little while now. Finally got him nailed down, and so very excited. He is an R&B soul artist. The first time I heard his music, I was like, whoa. This dude needs to be signed. I couldn't believe he wasn't already on a major record label. He's that good. And I want to introduce to you right now JoRob. Hello, JoRob.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, the rent. Isn't that the truth? the rent and taxes are going on, but you know what? We ain't going to worry about that tonight because I want to thank you so very much for being our guest tonight. I really, as I was saying in the intro there, I really look forward to having you on our show for a while now because from the moment I heard your music, I was like, wow, this dude is awesome. He's off the chain, and we've been playing the heck out of your music here on our show, but thank you so very much for giving us some of your time tonight.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, I want to start out let's just start at the beginning because I want to find out, kind of how you got into the music business and how it all happened for you.
Oh, shoot, where do I start? A young kid, I was in school, and, when you're a teenager, you have the world on your shoulders just about, peer pressure and just people in general just kind of, trying to pull you the wrong way. I had a few major losses in my life. The main loss in my life was my father. I needed something to kind of attach myself to and kind of push me through the loss. So I kind of just started writing music and expressing myself, singing and like it just took to me because I believe there's a song for like every feeling that you have, So I say, why not express myself by writing music because I really didn't have anyone to talk to. It was a real hard situation. So, long story short, some folks heard me, singing to myself, and they kind of always heard me sing, and they said, hey, you should join the choir, and you should sing. And I was like, I didn't want to, but, it was some females, so, I kind of said, okay, I'll check this out and see what's up. And from there, it was like, I loved it, and, and I kind of, my spirits were lifted through the music and through everyone just saying, hey, I love your voice and your music has moved me. So, that's basically how I got started in the music industry.
Well, and that's a very interesting start because, you had, just tragic loss in your life and, and you took something that was, such a dramatic, horrible thing and you did something positive with it. There were so many negative directions you could have gone off in, and you chose to just start pouring yourself into writing, and from that, it kind of grew into something beyond that. And I can tell you first and foremost that I'm very, very glad that you pursued music because I do believe that you are doing what you were meant to do. And it's interesting, I want to ask had that not happened in your life, do you think that you would have pursued music?
Honestly, I don't think I would. I may have taken a different direction in life, So, I guess, there are pros and cons to the whole thing. But yeah, I don't think I would be in music if those tragedies didn't happen in my life.
Yeah, it's always interesting, the paths life takes us sometimes. We always kind of want to have our lives all mapped out, or so we think we do. And then, something can happen and it can just change the whole course of the direction we were headed in, without our control, really. So now, that kind of evolved for you. So from there, how did you get from there to where you are now? Because you've really been doing some incredible things with your music since those early days of, just writing lyrics down on paper.
Well, I guess the way one thing that I did was research and learn the business. When I was coming up, I was taught, to learn the business. If you want to do something, it's just like if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you got to know what you're doing. It's kind of sad that a lot of artists don't do that nowadays. It's sort of like, hey, I can sing or I can rap, and I can do it, I can make it. But it's sad to say it's not true. Nowadays it really it's never been about the talent so much. It's been about the business. You got to know how to market yourself. You got to know, how to kind of balance your events, balance, how you want to deal with other people. There's so much involved with it. So, when I was coming up, I didn't have $1 million. It was like I had to find a way to kind of make do with what I had. So I started learning every part of the music industry from the production side, the business side, tricks of the trade. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't do that, I most definitely wouldn't have gotten as far as I am now, because without that I'd still be kind of sitting at home just writing music with no shows and no exposure. So that's kind of what I did to get where I am now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you were smart to do that because, as you probably found out, the music industry is incredibly vast. It can be very, very difficult to break into, and it can be very brutal. It's kind of a dog-eat-dog world out there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that was incredibly smart on your part, because I think it's definitely served you well. It's paid off. And just about since, you started writing up to this point, about how long have you been at this now? How long have you been in music?
Well, I think officially I've kind of been in it for about 6-7 years, really taking it like, okay, this is my business. This is I'm at the point now where, I'm writing my own contracts. I'm booking events. I recently opened up a studio a few years ago. It's a one-stop shop for entertainers as well, because my thing is, if you look at all my social networks and feeds and the people that I deal with, it's about teaching other artists, because that's one of the big things, no one's teaching artists what they need to do. It's like it's a big secret. You know what I mean? If I'm going to make it, like I can't make it without everyone else. I mean, let's put it that way. I'm one man. I'm a small fish in a big pond. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I can help the next person can help me. And then when I get to the point in my career where, I'm almost at the top of my game, I got people that I can say, I dealt with them, I trust them, we've worked together before, and, I'll just have a lot more respect. That's my residual income right there. Instead of being a person to not help anyone at all, I have a bunch of people now. They're on my team, and we can all eat at the same time. So that's where I'm at.
Well, that definitely goes a long way, when you are not, afraid or, biased about helping someone that is, I think in this business, a lot of people tend to forget that everybody started in the same place at one point. I don't care if you're Rihanna, Chris Brown, if you're, the next big act. I mean, you all started in the same place. And so, it is, I think it is a team effort. I think, you have a better chance of getting ahead in this business if you're helping, those who are doing it. It's kind of the same way with radio. I mean, I've got a lot of colleagues in this business, and we kind of talk among ourselves and trade secrets and try to, offer up, ideas that we toss around among our shows to try to make them the best, because at the end of the day, when you're putting out a product that to the public, it really is about them. And the more you can collaborate with folks, the better the product's going to be, and the bigger, audience you're going to have that's going to want the product. And so it really, there is a beauty in that. But I think a lot of people in the industry become so protective over, or record labels in particular, not so much from an indie standpoint, but record labels, they are hugely protective, over their product or over their it person, And that's one of the things I love about indie music and indie artists, because you're not boxed in. I mean, there are disadvantages to not being on a major record label, of course, the financial aspect, but then there are huge advantages to not being, limited to your creativity and what you're able to do as an artist. And that is, I think that you can't put a price tag on that. That's unbelievably huge, So let's talk about your album, because as I was saying earlier, when I first got your music, when you sent it to me, I started listening to it, and it was just like, I absolutely sat there. I was like going, there is no way he is not signed. I mean, really, I'm saying you're one of these artists that should be on a major record label. Should have already been on a major record label. I mean, the quality of your music, the sound, just the production aspect, the whole 9 yards. I mean, your voice, everything about it is so relevant to what you hear on mainstream radio. And it was just, I just was blown away. I was like, are you kidding me? And every once in a while I have that really epiphany moment when I come across an indie artist like yourself that I just think, wow, mainstream radio has no idea what they're missing. And that is one of the things that I've always said about music in this part of the music industry, and that is that, it is, indie music is the music industry's unintentional best-kept secret, and mainstream just has no clue what they're missing out on. So talk a little bit about when you made that first album, I mean, how did that all come together for you? Because it's good stuff from start to finish.
Well, I guess, I kind of put all the pieces to the puzzle together at different times in my life. The records that I wrote, they're real, either from my experience or through someone else's experience that I know, and that one in particular, that one song, Say What's on Your Mind, is, it's a relationship. It's an actual relationship. And just, you kind of learn who I am through my record. You can understand that, I'm a young guy, but I have an old school heart. I mean, I love the 90s. I love their sounds. I love how back in the 90s, there were a lot of groups, like Drew Hill, Joe DeSee. I love Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? So I kind of wanted to capture that, because I think that's when soul music, it was, because right now you don't really hear R&B soul music. People don't really know what R&B music is anymore. And what I did was I captured that and try to put it all in one record to kind of push it. And I wanted to give people, say, this we still have a chance to bring R&B music back, because it's almost extinct, So, on that whole record, you're going to get album. You're going to get you're going to get some soul, some love. You're going to get a little bit of hip hop mixed in there. Not, I wasn't hitting you too hard with the hip hop music and the hip hop selections that are on there. They're real life. They're real. You can add almost like a, back when Tupac and Biggie, how like a Brenda's Got a Baby or something like that. Like it's real musical, real emotions. So that's kind of what I wanted this first record to be about. I wanted my coming out record to kind of be, hey, this guy, this is a cool guy. He's saying the things that I wish I could say, and he's bringing foreplay back. You know what I mean? Because if you listen to the music now, there's no foreplay. It's just, hey, we're gonna jump right into it. Everyone needs a stripper. You know what I mean? And I'm like, we don't need that. That's not real R&B music. Let's bring it back to some love. You know what I mean? So that's what the R&B's Best Kept Secret album is about. Just love. You know.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned old school R&B, because you are not the first R&B indie artist that has, that has said that there is such a need to bring R&B sound back, because, I hate to say it, I mean, I like hip-hop to a point, but it's almost like hip-hop now dominates what used to be R&B. It's like the new R&B. But it's not R&B. It's a whole different genre within the music industry. Within that, it's like a subgenre of R&B music. But traditional R&B music is just, I mean, there's not enough of it on the radio anymore. And a lot of it now that kind of falls into that category kind of has a pop sound. I mean, you hear it on your pop top 40 stations, and it's kind of meshed with some other genres, and it really does get lost. And it's not a standalone anymore. And that is one of the things that I love about your music, is that you captured that, and you really do have, you can hear those influences and those, those sounds of yesterday, but it's relevant to today, and that's the beauty of it. And so that's one of the reasons why I think your music is so good. And of course, I love that era of music anyhow. So from Motown on, and it's, it is a shame we don't have enough of it anymore.
Yeah, hopefully we can, being able to express myself on your station and just let people know. I mean, it's really the best way to do it, and I think all the listeners, who hear this, they should listen to stations like yours, and they should listen to the artists and kind of push us artists, because we can't do it without our fans. Without the fans, we're really nothing. You help push our product. You help move the industry. If you went on strike and said, I don't want to hear pop music anymore or dance tracks, I want to hear real R&B music, I guarantee you that radio will, say, hey, we need to start playing more R&B, because if you look at it now,
that's right.
They're like, actual radio is kind of going downhill. People aren't listening to radio. They're listening to indie stations, because they know they can hear something different, from and something with real feeling on indie stations. I quit listening to the radio station. I hate to say it. Like I listen in my car right now. I have just all indie records in my car. I don't have any mainstream CDs in my car. So.
Well, you're speaking my language, because I don't listen to mainstream music that much. I mean, I listen, being in the radio business, I listen to it enough to kind of stay up on what's the latest, for my radio station aspect. But now that I've been listening to indie music for several years now, it's hard to get away from it, because, about 5-10 years ago, indie was like this whole genre of a particular type of rock-style music. But it's evolved into this whole facet. It's not even a genre anymore. It's just a whole side of the music industry that has invited all genres and all forms of music. And some of the best stuff I've ever heard is in this, encapsulated in it. And it's good stuff. And there's so much variety. And you're right. Indie artists pour their heart and soul into their music, because, believe me, if it were about money, they wouldn't be doing it for very long, So it is about, and it does come through, because you put all you have into it, because it is a passion and a drive. And so a listener really does reap the reward of what you're doing as an artist, above and beyond what mainstream radio is offering, because a lot of that stuff is so cookie-cutterish now. It's like, 10 songs all sound alike with a little variance in the beat, and the artist is different. But that's about the extent of it, and it's hard to listen to. And so, I'm with you on that. I'd much rather pop in my movies. And there's so much of it is so good that to me, it runs circles around a lot of the stuff out there that society says, ooh, this is the latest, greatest. So they just have no idea what they're missing. So, we do. I appreciate the compliment. We do what we do here because we love music, but I love promoting good stuff. I feel like indie music needs to be heard, and thank goodness for social media. Social media has opened up so many doors for the indie music world to be able to get out there and put your music out. And, you know, even from 5 years ago, I remember 5 years ago, Twitter was not what it is today, and Facebook all that. I mean, you didn't have Ustream. You know, you didn't have all these neat ways for artists to get out there and promote. And and I remember when it was almost taboo to cut your own record. But now it's like nothing. I mean, you got people producing mixtapes left and right, and you know, and doing things that they would have never been able to do before, and that is incredible. And if that's not making the real mainstream music industry professional service, I don't know what will. You know. So let's talk about it. You've got some new stuff in the works. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I have a lot of different things going on right now. The main thing is I'm going to have coming out pretty soon. It's a mixtape. I haven't named it yet, but it's finished. But you know, if you stay on me and look at all my my website JoRobMusic.com, I'll have it up pretty soon. But it's about 12, 14 tracks, and I have a number of really hot artists from the Washington D.C. area. Miami, Los Angeles. On this mixtape, and I have DJ Gemini of Shadyville DJs hosting the mixtape. So I'm pretty excited because I deal with a lot of talent, and I said let me pick a handful of the guys that I deal with, and let me get them on a record, and let's just go all out with it. And I have some cats from Blue Label Records. On the record, I have one of my good friends, D Money, Donnie Brasco. I have Nicholas Baker, Catman Respect. So I have so many people on this record right now that they share the same feeling about indie music and just pushing records just like me. So. I can't wait. We're hoping to drop it by the end of this month, by the end of April. So all I can say is you're going to see, like, Twitter and Facebook is going to be so live and jumping. You know what I mean? You're going to see so many people just talking about this album. So I stay tuned with that. And also I have 3 EPs. I'm doing a few. I'm trying to give my listeners something different. I want everyone to be happy. I have a lot of kind of like pop tracks that I'm working on. I've been writing a lot for different artists, but I have an R&B record coming out. R&B EP coming out. I have a compilation EP coming out, and I'm doing sort of like a crossover popish kind of EP coming out too. So I got a number of things that our fans and our listeners can kind of just listen to and say, I like this. I didn't know that JoRob can do this, but I want everyone to know my heart is just R&B music. But at the end of the day, I love music in general. I really believe there are 2 genres of music, which is good or bad music. You know what I mean? So, that's you guys don't get everything, and I'll make sure that you get every song that I create. I'll make sure that you guys get it because, you guys are the number one people out there in terms of helping me get my music to the listeners. Everyone, I see everyone talking about your radio station. And I was like, you know what? That's what I like. People are really tuning in, so you'll get everything.
Oh, well, thank you. We love your stuff, and I can tell you people love your stuff, too. I mean, every week when we do our weekly show, people are in the chat room and they're just chatting it up. And, of course, I don't know what's buzzing out there other than what I see, on my news feeds on social media, but people love your stuff. And I think it's because you have captured that old sound, that old school sound, and you meshed it with the JoRob sound. And, and I love your slogan on your website. It says, JoRob is music. And that's your, Twitter handle. And it is true. You are music. And, and it is very, very refreshing to see an artist like yourself who is not afraid to kind of take a step back in time while moving forward in the future, you know, and people are digging it because we've missed it. I mean, there's not enough of it, and it definitely needs to be brought back because really, when you think about it, R&B music was kind of like the heart of soul and Motown and what is now hip hop and rap. I mean, it all started with R&B, and it's branched off in so many directions from that. But you know, it's been a real shame that R&B has gotten lost in the mix with, you know, the way it has exploded to, you know, it has been lost to all these other things. So I'm very, very happy to see that you are doing your level best to try and, you know, bring that back to where it has a presence again. And so, of course, we're all too happy to play your stuff here for sure. So anything you get, yes, send it my way. I'll be putting it out there for you. No worries there. for sure. So now, are you going to be performing anywhere anytime soon? Or are you just kind of in the studio right now? Okay.
Well, first I do a lot of, I have a club that I deal with in Washington, D.C., at some lounge. We have a show coming up on the 26th of this month, and a lot of the artists that are going to be on the mixtape will be at Exum Lounge, which is, 19th U. So it's going to be 26th. Show will start at 10 o'clock, but if you want to get there earlier, we're going to be partying a little bit prior to the show. I'll also be doing a show at the University of Maryland, which will be in the next, actually not April, but at the end of May. And this is going to be a little after I drop the mixtape. And then just summertime's coming, so it's just going to be shows. Because a lot of times when I know I'm going to do a show, it's so random. A lot of times I'll know a few days prior, and so, but look out for those two shows, Exum Lounge on the 26th, and the following month, probably around the same time, it'll be at the University of Maryland, which is going to be one of the big shows. I have Sammy. It's a band called Bonnie Lass, and we did something called Lay Mixtape last month. We had Juvenile featured on the mixtape. Chucky Thompson, if you don't know who Chucky Thompson is, he's a guy he's one of the original producers for Bad Boy, Biggie Smalls. Anything that Puffy did, Chucky Thompson was there. So it's I got a lot of cats on my side, a lot of people who kind of have their footprint in this industry. And right now we're trying to take this to a different level and kind of, really let people know what's going on. You know what I mean? So, you just look out. Just look out.
Well, I tell you, I look forward to seeing what you've got coming. I mean, I can't wait to hear the new music, and it's going to be good stuff. I already know it. I mean, if the stuff I've heard is any indication, I'm going to tell you now, listeners, you better watch out because it is R&B's best kept secret. Let me tell you, JoRob's got it going on. Well, I want to thank you so much for being our special guest this evening and just sharing, all about your music. And you are phenomenal. I am so excited. Thank you so much for what you're doing for the industry and for R&B music and for making your point, my friend. We do appreciate it, and we'd love to have you back, especially after you drop the next tape and play some of that music for the listeners and get it out there as well. So in the meantime, best of luck to you, and we wish you the very best in all things.
Appreciate it. Likewise.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and you have a great night. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye. Remember the name, folks, JoRob, and he's up and coming, and he is really, really doing some awesome things in the world of R&B music, for music, period. That's kind of his forte, but I'm telling you, I'm going to play one of the songs off of his latest album in just a moment that you're going to absolutely love. And you will say what I said, and that is, why is this guy not already signed to a major record label? He's that good, people. But anyway, he's got some great stuff. Check out his website. You can find him at JoRobIsmusic.com. And it has, his website's just chock full of information, free downloads of his music, how he can be contacted. You can follow him on Twitter also at JoRobIsmusic. And so check him out. And if you like his stuff, please, please, please support him. Buy his music. These indie artists do not, they don't have a major record label backing them on all their endeavors and all these projects they try to take on, and they do. A lot of it is self-funded. So, if you like their stuff, please support them. I know they would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, I'm going to play for you now a song which is my personal favorite off of his latest release, and this is JoRob and Say What's on Your Mind.
Tell me where we went wrong. What can you explain? Please don't hang up the phone. I can't figure you out. Baby, we can work it out. Wish we had more time. Always on my mind. Girl, you had it all. Did we make a mistake? Now we're falling apart. Is it getting too late? Baby girl, I feel for you. I would die for you. I can never break your heart. Never break your heart. Never break your heart, girl. Baby, I can't fight all those words, but so bottled up inside. Take my hand, hold tight, don't hold back. It's the safest on your mind. Sometimes mistakes fine. I know sometimes that it needed when you're right. What we had, so right. What we had, if you let it go. Baby, we caught it all. Just like that. Can't take it, girl. Like in and out. There's a hole in my heart. I can't let it go. In my heart. Something might rise. Driving cruise all night. Can't let it go. Girl, it's getting too late. Let's be honest, baby. Girl, I know you're away. Girl, I'll do for you. I would die for you. Just to have you in my life. Have you in my life. Baby, I can't fight all those words, so bottled up inside. Take my hand, hold tight, don't hold back. You can say what's on your mind. Know sometimes, that it needed when you're right. What we had, so right. What we had, if you let it go. Baby, I can't fight all those words, so bottled up inside. Take my hand, hold tight, don't hold back. You can say what's on your mind. Know sometimes that it needed when you're right. What we had, so right. What we had, we can let it go. Baby, can you feel me, darling? I wanna be that man. Please let me be that man. Come in my arms. JoRob's gonna love you all over your body, baby. I'll hold you tight. I wanna hold you tight all night long.
time, and he's bringing R&B back. Kudos to him for going out on a limb and being brave enough to take a stand for the heart of R&B soul music, and that was Say What's on Your Mind. And great artist, and we look very forward to more stuff that he has coming down the pipe as we speak. So as soon as we get that in our hands, we will have it on our show, playing it for you. And that's one of those songs that just stays with you long after it's over. And when it ends, you're like, is it over? You know, you kind of want to just keep going on and on. Great groove, great music. So anyway, we want to thank JoRob for being our special guest tonight and taking time away to spend some time with us. And to all the listeners out there, thank you for joining us. If you're brand new to our program, we would love to have you back anytime. Thank you for stopping by tonight and checking us out, and we hope you will not be a stranger. And so with that, that's going to be a wrap, folks, and we will be right back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a jazz saxophonist. His name is Tulon, and I think you're going to really enjoy him. He's got some great music, and we're going to be speaking with him about his music, upcoming projects, and his tour. So we will be right back here at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. And, of course, we will be back with our Indie Artist Showcase on Saturday night. So please join us for that. That'll be starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern this week. So, all right, with that, enjoy the rest of your evening. Tomorrow is Friday, folks. Happy weekend, happy Friday. And we hope to have you right back here tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock. And until then, take care and have a great night. Good night.
Tonight's show has been brought to you by One Taste of Main Street Cake Shop, baked from scratch, custom-made cakes and cupcakes, and you'll be hooked. Every cake is made to order with only the finest and freshest ingredients. This is no ordinary bakery. Cakes are never pre-made. Main Street Cake Shop is in demand, having provided cakes and cupcakes for numerous prestigious events, bridal fairs, and venues. Owned and operated by April Murray, she has garnered many awards for not only her exquisite cake designs, but also for their incredible taste. If you're looking for a cake for any occasion, or cupcakes in a variety of flavors, then Main Street Cake Shop is the place. Visit them on the web at mainstreetcakeshop.com. Thanks for listening to tonight's show. You can connect with Jammin Jukebox Radio Show on Twitter at Jammin Jukebox or on Facebook at Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. Check out our website at thejamminjukebox.com. Also, follow us on Blog Talk, where you will be always up to date on every episode as we add it. Each episode is available for immediate download upon the conclusion of each broadcast, and as always, on iTunes. Thank you for joining us.